Let's talk about college tennis, something that falls underneath the radar. It's on the upswing. You went to Georgia, great college tradition. How was that part of your career and your life so integral in your success?
Oh, it was huge. Without college, I definitely wouldn't be here today.
Like here, like holding court with me, or
like holding court with
a
you?
Successful professional tennis player?
Both.
Right.
So, leaving high school, I simply wasn't good enough, not nearly good enough to go pro, and I didn't have pro aspirations either. So the easy, obvious choice was to go to college, and I was fortunate enough that Manny Diaz at Georgia took a chance on me and gave me a scholarship to go play at go play on his team, which was only about 4 hours away from my house in North Carolina, so it was an easy drive. It was an easy choice for me. I went there and fell in love with the place and stayed all 8 semesters, all 4 years.
But you have a little Van Wilder in you, right? I mean, because you were generally going to go for the 7-year degree.
I was. That was the path I was on.
Before you got so good at tennis.
Exactly. That was the path I was on. If I had a 5th year, I would have stayed. It came to a point where it was get a job or play tennis, and playing tennis was a little bit better choice for me, and I think it worked out, because without my college days, that's where I got so much better, so much stronger, physically and mentally. Like I said before, I wouldn't be here.
Best college non-tennis experience that you could talk about on TV?
Oh gosh, I wouldn't say one experience in particular, but the tailgates for the Georgia football games are the best thing. One of the favorite things in my life, and when I do get to go back, even though I'm out of school, and go enjoy a tailgate for a late afternoon night game, it's I'm really in heaven when I'm doing that, and that's really what I miss about school the most.
Well, the obvious segue now is to talk about girls, but we're going to do that way later. We're going to go into something that's also very near and dear to John Isner's heart, next to women, the second most important, third maybe after tennis, Twitter. Now, you are a prolific tweeter. We followed your tweets. There's some pretty fun ones there. You keep it tennis, but you also talk about other sports, pop culture. How do you determine who you follow?
Well, obviously, following you, I felt like I had
Good choice.
to.
You do. Yeah, for sure.
But normally it's other athletes that I admire and like, and also just friends of mine. So
like who do you follow?
Well, for instance, all the tennis guys that I'm friends with that have Twitter.
Who's the best tennis tweeter, most entertaining?
Oh yeah, we're still throwing you in the mix.
Well,
current,
I mean,
or just
it's always
in general?
It's always about me. We are holding court with me.
As far as content, videos, pictures. There's always the good picture every day from at Justin Gimelstob. I think that's what
it is. Very good.
So
at JUSTINGIMELSTOB.
I mean, he's always getting the trendy pics. In the Royal Box with Rory McIlroy at Wimbledon. That's. You get access that most people can't, so you're definitely a good follow. I encourage everyone to follow this guy.
Now, you also have a great relationship with your coach, and he's an excellent guy. He's worked with Jim Curry, he's worked with so many players, Craig Boynham, and you tease him a lot. He has a striking resemblance to a very handsome, iconic film star.
Yeah,
he's Clooney-esque.
George Clooney-esque, but
the Silver Fox.
The Silver Fox, but some can argue, and he'll get pissed at me, that he looks a little bit like Jay Leno as well. So,
I get that, unfortunately. That's much more of an insult than. I like Leno. I worked for him. He gave me my first big break, but I mean, there's a big difference there.
No, I'm telling you, he's got a little bit of. CV's got a mixture of Clooney and Leno, if that's possible. So, but more Clooney. Let's
talk about not just Twitter. You Facebook, you're big into social networking. You also have a website. Go to johnisner.com. It's pretty impressive. Big music montage sets it up.
Yeah.
Then there's also clips to John Isner TV. It's like a whole YouTube channel dedicated to the greatest hits of John Isner. I learned more about you than I should know at this stage. Tell us about johnisner.com and John Isner TV and John Isner everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's johnisner.com is pretty simple. That is my website. I have a lot to say, obviously, about the website. I didn't say make it myself or create it myself. But yeah, the John Isner TV is kind of a collection of YouTube I don't want to call it hits, but
greatest hits. I'll say
yeah,
it's John Isner.
You know, YouTube clips of
John
myself,
Isner greatest hits,
interviews, matches, or whatnot. So it's a pretty neat touch. You know, on my website, all you gotta do is click play and it comes on.
Now, what was the reaction like? Now, there's one out of over 16,000% chance that you'd play back-to-back at Wimbledon. What was your reaction when you saw the draw?
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, I first received the text from John, and he said, "No way, we have to play against each other again."
Right.
And at first, I was a little bit disappointed.
Right.
I just really didn't want to play against John first round. And
now, was it more because you didn't want to play John, or you just want to leave that memory intact?
that was too early. The first round, 1 year after, was just too emotionally. That was very difficult.
Like reopening a wound, almost.
Exactly, but we had to deal, and he handled the pressure much better than I did.
Yeah, well, John, much like many great movies, the sequel very rarely lives up to the original. It's kind of like Caddyshack 2 versus Caddyshack 1. What was your thoughts on going back out there once again and playing Nicklaus? And thank goodness it wasn't on court 18.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't want to play him either. And, you know, I think we both want to play each other deep in a tournament, not first round. And we have played each other 3 times in our careers, and they've all been in the first round of a tournament. So, and like you said, the chances were just so slim that we would play again. And, you know, we also knew going into the tournament there's going to be a lot of talk from both of us, and regardless of who we played. And then when we drew each other again, it just became even more of a media circus. And it's kind of tough to focus. And yeah, but the match, obviously, you know, it wasn't going to be as good as last year's match.
Very Caddyshack 2-esque.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this wasn't going to go that long, and his knee was bothering him. It was just a different dynamic, you know, this time around. And but like I said, we both didn't want to play each other. It just it's a shame it happened that way.
And you guys won an ESPY. I mean, he was there to collect it. He was there with all the models and actresses and athletes, and you were nowhere to be found. You should have seen him at the party. It really, they should have cut the award in 2. You deserve half of it, and you deserve at least half of the phone numbers that he collected that night.
Not Ashley Green's name.
No, Ashley Green. It's always about Ashley Green.